Hi everyone, my name is Angela, this is Paperbacks Galore, and today I'm going to be reviewing Real by Kennedy Ryan. This book was actually indie published in 2021, and so a lot of people have already read this, but it is being traditionally published, and I believe it is releasing later in the summer or the fall with a new cover, and so technically this is a new release even though a lot of people have already read it, but hopefully a lot of people who don't read indie romance will discover Kennedy Ryan and really love her books as much as I do. So Real is a romance between a director and an actress. Neva is an inspiring actress. She's actually an understudy on Broadway at the beginning of the story, and our other main character, Cannon, is a very famous director, kind of like a Jordan Peele type of situation, but in like a different genre of movies. That's kind of who he reminds me of in terms of how famous and how he has awards and acclaim and everything. Cannon happens to see Neva performing on Broadway at the beginning of the story, and he instantly knows that she is the right person for the main role in his next film. The film that Cannon is directing is basically a biopic about a black jazz singer from the olden days, I think like the 40s or 50s or 60s, somewhere in there, and she was kind of this artist that kind of got lost to history, and he really wants to tell her story, and he thinks that Neva is the perfect choice, and so we see them fall in love as they work on this film together, and we do also get excerpts from the script for the film, and it's really fun seeing this like fictional jazz singer and her history on the page, as well as seeing Neva and Cannon try to bring this story to life. There is a bit of a forbidden aspect to the romance because Cannon was previously involved with an actress that he was working with, and it ended very poorly. She was pretty upset with him for ending the relationship, and it had a lot of consequences for his career, and so he's vowed to never get involved with another actress that he's working with again. Obviously that becomes a lot more difficult when he's working closely with Neva and just realizing how wonderful she is and how perfect she is for him, so there's a lot of tension there. There's also the added tension of the fact that a relationship between a director and a very unknown actress can seem very suspicious because Neva has never been on film ever. She's never been in any sort of like movie or TV show, and so there's this worry that if people find out that they are involved, that they will think that she got the role just because she was sleeping with him or something like that. This book also has representation for lupus. Our main character, Neva, has discoid lupus, I believe, and we see her managing that and dealing with that and everything that comes with that emotionally and physically throughout the story. That is all you need to know about the synopsis of this book. I ended up giving Real 4 stars. Kennedy Ryan's writing is incredible. This is the second book that I've read from her, and both times the writing has just been incredible. I think she probably has the best, if not the second best, writing of any romance author that I've ever read. It's just every word has its place and its purpose, and nothing is cringy or trite or stupid. She doesn't throw in like stupid pop culture references that will date the book, or have the characters say really stupid things to each other. I don't know how to explain it, but usually in a romance book, I'm kind of excusing a few things that kind of made me cringe, but Kennedy Ryan's writing is A+, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. This is definitely not a rom-com. It's not like a light and fluffy romance book where the characters like don't really have any problems and everything is just kind of like cutesy and sexy. It is sexy, but it's more on the deep emotional side of romance. I think the reason that this didn't get a 5-star for me was because I really loved the historical biopic aspect to this story. I love seeing the details of the movie that they were working on and the story of this jazz singer, and I felt like towards the end of the book we got less and less of that and we started to focus on something else, which I think was still very well done, but just for my taste, I had wished that it was more about the movie. And don't get me wrong, we do get a lot about the process of making this film. Like, I'm not saying this book isn't about the movie, because it totally is, but just towards the end of the book, the focus kind of shifts to another topic, and it lost me a little in terms of how engaged I was, and I just kind of wished that we had seen like the premiere of the movie or more scenes from the movie or just more about the movie. I think the first 75% of the book was a 5-star, and then the last 25% of it lost me a little. I was a little bit bored and just kind of ready for it to be over. It wasn't as engaging for me, so for that reason I'm settling on a 4 instead of a 4.5 or a 5. But I really do think that this is an excellent book. It just wasn't quite perfect for me, and that's okay because 4 stars is still a really great rating. I would highly recommend the audiobook because there are moments when the character Desi Blue, who's like the fictional historical jazz singer, is like singing, and the audiobook actually has a real singer with instrumental music behind her like singing, and it's absolutely incredible. Overall, I would highly recommend this book. I think it's a really great mix of joy and sorrow and difficulty and triumph, and I hope that a lot of people will pick this book up with its new cover and will discover how amazing Kennedy Ryan is. My favorite book by her so far is Before I Let Go, which I gave 5 stars earlier this year, and I will definitely be reading more from her. If you watched this video, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more bookish content from me, and I hope you have a lovely week.